This is the second day of the Democratic National Committee summer meeting. This time it's held in Minneapolis. And they started the meeting with a land acknowledgement. What is a land acknowledgement? Well, a Native American spoke, claiming that the area where they're having this convention, Minneapolis, was owned by Native Americans. And frankly, you guys are squatters, and you need to at least acknowledge that you're squatters and do something about squatting, I guess. Number 16.
Thank you, Pastor Rome. Now, please welcome a friend of mine from the Minnesota DFL, their treasurer, and her name is Lindy Somick, who is from the Saginaw Ojibwe Nation, and she's going to deliver our land acknowledgement today. Lindy.
Bonjour, Lindy Somick, Nindigenous, Amik Dodam, Saginaw Chippewa Dojaba, Anishinaabe Kwe and Dow. Good morning, DNC members, friends, and relatives. Let's talk about the land for a second. The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota people, who are the original stewards of the lands and waters of Minneapolis. The Dakota cared for the lands, lakes, and the Wapatonka, the Great River, the Mississippi River, for thousands of years before colonization. This land was not claimed or traded. It's a part of a history of broken treaties and promises. And in many ways, we still live in a system built to suppress Indigenous peoples' cultural and spiritual history. As Democrats, I ask of every one of you to not allow land acknowledgements like these to simply be the checking of a box. Be curious, ask questions, ensure our Native neighbors are heard, and work in partnership with your Indigenous communities. Honor the legacy of this land and its people by engaging today with each other with honesty, humility, respect, and compassion. Chimigwech, and thank you so much.
I have no idea what that was all about. Acknowledge that the land was owned by Native Americans by being empathetic and open and kind and caring. And also on the first day, which was yesterday, there was a presentation from the Vera Institute, which is a think tank that supports defunding the police. The presenter told the crowd that being, quote, tough on crime is authoritarian. And, quote, migrant crime and carjackings are things that don't matter to many Americans, end of quote. I repeat, migrant crime and carjackings are things that don't matter to many Americans, close quote, said this presenter on the second day of the Democratic National Committee's summer meeting. The AG of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, the one who thought that George Wallace was a Republican, bragged about suing the Trump administration for preventing minors from receiving sex change procedures. The Oakland, California mayor, Barbara Lee, the one who, during the debate here in California, she ran for senator, wanted a minimum wage of $50. She bragged about her city's refusal to cooperate with ICE. Governor Tim Walz was in mid-season form, number 29.
And I am proud of this state like so many others, and I will have to tell you, the privilege of my lifetime was stand beside someone we know was the most qualified and would have been a fantastic president in a President Harris. And look, we wouldn't wake up every day to a bunch of on TV and a bunch of nonsense. We would wake up to an adult with compassion and dignity and vision and leadership doing the work, not a man-child crying about whatever's wrong with him. May his fat ankles find something today. petty as hell.
May his fat ankles find something today, said the man who wanted to be vice president. Of course, no acknowledgement that the borders are now secure. Don't call her border czar. Borders are. We were told for 4 years that either they were secure, or when they couldn't say that anymore with a straight face, the next line was, well, it's as secure as it can be given the lack of comprehensive immigration reform. Gas prices down. Price of eggs dramatically down. Stock market recently hit record highs. S&P recently record highs. NASDAQ recently record highs. The man's approval rating, according to at least one poll, 54%. At this juncture, much higher, almost 10 points higher than Barack Obama's was at this juncture in his second term. And what does the governor of Minnesota say? May his fat ankles find something today. Majority of people support his crackdown on crime in Washington, D.C. Majority of people support ICE deporting the worst of the worst. Again, a 10-point higher approval rating than the most popular Democrat in the country, Barack Obama, had at this juncture in his second term.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.